And therefore, Pushparaj Deshpande, before I go to Javed Ansari and understand Rahul Gandhi's politics, let's just look at what is Rahul Gandhi saying, which he hasn't. This seems to be Rahul Gandhi's theme now. Rahul Gandhi seems to suggest that the nature of India's economic reform, he has a problem with it. He believes it's leading to cronyism and monopolization of resources. The fact is that much of this was initiated during the Congress years, and many believe the BJP has taken it forward. Should Rahul Gandhi be working towards trying to give us a sense of some kind of broad commitment to economic reform or not? Is Rahul Gandhi anti-economic reform, as some believe he comes across as extremely left of center and thereby almost unwilling to accept the achievements at times of his own government of Manmohan Singh?
Rajdeep ji, actually, thank you for raising this issue. The fact of the matter is that 1991 reforms led to a certain economic path. We have reached the zenith of that economic path. We need to now start looking at next generation economic reforms and look at what has happened in the last 10 years. The corporate profits which accrued to the top 20 companies were monopolized by the top 20 companies, was 46% in 2014. Today it has jumped up to 78%. Total corporate profits are monopolized by top 20 companies. Now the fact of the matter is the economic story of India is not working for everyone equitably. Something needs to change. That is exactly what he's trying to talk about. We need to invest in MSMEs. We need to talk about labor-intensive industries. That is something that we need to have a conversation about, not pedantic and theatrics. That is the first thing. Second thing, I'm actually very happy that Vermaji gave such fantastic data. I'm assuming all the data is accurate. I'm very happy that India is beginning to pick up in sectors as well, as would any patriot. I am certainly very proud. In fact, from what Vermaji says, India is clearly economically strong and powerful. But why is Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar saying that we are not economically strong enough to take on China? See, I have faith in my armed forces. My grandfather was in the army. So I believe that the army can take back the 2,000 square kilometers of Bharat Mata that China has encroached upon, and the 60 square kilometers that they have encroached upon in Arunachal, that their own MP from Arunachal and Lieutenant General Panag asserted yesterday. Is the army being held back by Prime Minister Modi? Is it because Pradhan Mantri Modi went to China 18 times and met the Chinese Premier 30 times? I haven't finished.
Okay.
Or is it because PM cares received nearly 50 crores from Chinese companies? Or is it because after Doklam and Galwan and Ladakh, PM Modi allowed China to become our largest trading partner? Or is it because BJP leaders have led 12 party delegations to meet Chinese party officials, clandestine visits, 12 of them since 2008? At least 6 of them happened when Home Minister Amit Shah was president and then JP Nadda was president.
Okay.
My point is, and the last thing, Rajdeep, just one last point. I'm sorry to be pedantic about this, but the quote that the Honorable BJP spokesperson said, any fool can criticize, condemn and complain, is not actually from Ben Franklin, it's actually Dale Carnegie. I'm sorry, I am a scholar and I have to say this.
No, that part apart. Sanju Verma, patience is always a virtue. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, we are not debating Benjamin Franklin versus Dale Carnegie, and I know it sounds better than the Congress panelists, but I will leave it at that. Let me take some important, points that he had to make and rebut those. First and foremost, let's be very, 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 very clear. In 1988, when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister, both China and India had the same GDP in the region of 500 to 600, million dollars. But it took India 60 years, 6 decades to become a $1 trillion economy. Whereas under Narendra Modi, $1.8 trillion have been added in the last 5 years alone. You're a 500 to 600 billion dollar economy, 1988, and you still, it was in 2014 that we were still a $2 trillion economy. Today we are $3.8 trillion. But the most important point is this. Rahul Gandhi says that India's benefits have been appropriated by 20-25 odd top industrialists. Very quickly, in 30 seconds, Rajdeep Sardesai's audience needs to hear this. 53 crore Johnson bank accounts, world's largest financial inclusion scheme with more than 55% women beneficiaries. More than 24 lakh crore given to more than 43 crore beneficiaries by way of Mudra Yojana, 76% beneficiaries, poor Dalit and Adivasi women. Today we have more than 10 crore women benefiting every single year thanks to Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana with a refill rate of 87%. Today we have 120,000 startups and more than 150 unicorns. And Rajdeep, you'll be surprised to know, in 2014 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi took charge, we had only 350 startups. That means there has been a 34,000% jump in the number of startups that India has seen in the last 10 years. We are the world's third largest startup ecosystem, the world's fifth largest economy, having overtaken the United Kingdom, the world's second largest steel manufacturer, the world's third largest energy producer.
Ma'am, your 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds is up. I've heard you. Please, ma'am, I've heard you. I've heard you. You've, in fact, in the past also given us these facts, which I think need to also be put in the public domain. No one doubts that there has been change over the last 10 years. But Javed Ansari, 2 points emerge. One, do you get a sense that Rahul Gandhi now believes that he wants to make his politics about the Modi model versus a Rahul model? Are we actually seeing a Rahul model of which direction India's economy should go? How should politics play out in this country? Are we seeing a new Rahul Gandhi in some way post his becoming leader of the opposition? At least this time he wasn't just tilting at windmills, he was offering what he believes is his vision. Should we be looking at that more closely and carefully now?
Yes, the broad outlines of what his vision would be are now beginning to take shape. He needs to flesh out these ideas, and we need to do a fact check and on how viable, how workable that is. It is clear that Rahul Gandhi is trying to position himself in direct contrast, in sharp contrast to Narendra Modi and the BJP's politics. Whether it is on the economy, whether it is in relation to our neighbors, and whether it is the domestic politics and how, the kind of disquiet that you feel in certain
but the
parts of the country.
Feeling Javed Ansari is during the elections, he spoke of khatakhat. His promises of khatakhat were questioned by the other side, saying Rahul Gandhi is living in a cloud cuckoo land. The reality on the ground is very different. Is there also this visceral hatred for Mr. Modi and RSS, and I use the word hatred, which means that he will never objectively look at the Modi government and its achievements, some of which Sanju Verma has listed today?
Rajdeep, unfortunately, what you say of Rahul Gandhi is also true of Mr. Modi and the BJP. This visceral hatred, this visceral dislike is mutual. Unfortunately for India, this is mutual. You and I have lived and covered politics at a time when it was a lot more, there was a lot more consensus, there was a lot more give and take. Unfortunately now, everything is par for the course. Fact or fiction, everything is par for the course, and nobody on this account, there's neither side smells of roses.
But at least what has happened is we have a debate being triggered. What seems to be happening is Rahul Gandhi is now presenting his vision. We can disagree with it, we can agree with it, but at least it is triggering off the kind of public debate that perhaps we need to listen to both sides. And maybe Sanju Verma and Pushparaj Deshpande can also talk to each other rather than at each other to find possibly that middle ground that Javed Ansari just spoke about.